Well, hello, everyone, and happy holidays, and welcome to our Primetime Alive holiday program. I'm Vicki Newell, and I manage the volunteer and older adult services programs here at Mary Greeley. Just as a reminder, yes, we do wear masks when we're here at the hospital, but we are in a very large room, and since we're able to maintain quite a bit of physical distance between the few of us here, we're going to go without masks during the program so that you can better understand us. Things have gotten kind of shuffled around a little bit today. I'm going to say a few words, then we're hoping that Brian Dieter is able to stop down. He has a few things that he would like to say to everybody. But you know, what a year 2020 has been. And just like everything else this year, our holiday get-together looks different than it has in the past. When our world changed so drastically in March, like many of you, I thought we would be back to normal in a matter of a couple weeks, maybe a couple months. We initially were going to cancel Primetime Alive programs through April. That was when we were talking back in March. But just to be safe, we canceled through May, and we thought for sure that would cover it, and we'd be back on site after that. Then when we were still not able to meet in person, we moved our programs online, and we've had great success with that, delivering programs in this type of manner. Again, we thought online programs would be for a few months, and then things would be back to normal. And now here we are. How many months later, and we are still not able to meet in person? I don't know how much longer we will be meeting this way, but I'm glad that we've had the option to stay connected virtually these past several months. Thank you for hanging in there with us during these trying times. Your resiliency and ability to adapt to the changes in the program are greatly appreciated. My hope is that in 2021, we return to some sense of normalcy and that we are all able to find the many hidden treasures that 2020 has given us. At this time, I would like to ask Brian Dieter, our President and CEO, to say a few words.
Well, thank you. Thank you, Vicki. You know, this gathering, and I'll use the word gathering, has been memorable many times in the past. I still remember the time that the entertainment was coming from Eastern Iowa, and they were unable to make it. They were unable to navigate because of the roads. And Chris Perrin aptly stood in and did a comedy routine. And I can remember being with you all at the Gateway with a collection of sweaters and seeing so many friends. And I've referred to you as our best friends, the people who know the hospital, love the hospital, support the hospital. Many of you cross over and are volunteers as well. There's just so much that happens, and then 2020 happened. And so while it's not the weather that keeps us home today, it's something dramatically different. And like Vicki, I add my significant and sincere hope that 2021 is that restorative time when we get back to the things that mattered. I've already told my wife, I said, there are two dear friends that we've lost contact with. One's a set of former next door neighbors who first moved to Chicago and then to Houston. I said, when we can get back to normal, we're going to go see them. And another's a group that when we moved to South Bend, Indiana, my wife happened to meet teaching. And again, great friends. And, you know, life happens. And years go by and you stay in contact with an occasional phone call, an email, a Facebook message, a Christmas card. But I said, we're going to go see those folks. And so for you, I hope that whatever that is, that you're already making plans. I think those plans are helpful in sustaining as we go through what feels like we're getting closer to the beginning of the end of this pandemic. And we've definitely felt it at the hospital. First and foremost, with a number of policy changes. I mean, I've had my temperature taken now daily for 9 months. You might have noticed when I first got down to the podium here, I had my mask on. Now I'm well more than 6 feet away from anybody else in Bessie Myers, which, by the way, you know the room, you've seen the room. would hold 150 comfortably. There's 3 of us in the room right now. So we're doing our part. We're using our masks. We're using our hand sanitizer. We've had to implement a number of new policies, procedures. We've deployed technology in really fantastic ways to keep our staff and our patients and visitors as safe as possible. For example, if you come to the emergency department, you might know that the first thing they want to know is your name, your date of birth, and they get you a wristband, and then they get you a room, and the rest of the insurance information normally happens with somebody coming back with a computer on wheels and talking to you. Well, that all happens over a FaceTime connection now to a dedicated phone that's in each patient room. So we've gotten smarter, I would say, and we've gotten really wise at deploying technology. But the one thing that we haven't changed is the care. Our staff are just doing tremendous work. And they're doing it under difficult circumstances. Wearing extra equipment all the time. We went through a significant period of time where we allowed no visitors into the facility. And now welcoming visitors back on a limited basis certainly is beneficial for our patients and their family dynamics. It's also beneficial for our staff. Family members are important in that equation, and we're happy to have them back. But I just want you to know, as we approach this, this holiday season, and we're just on the absolute heels of our Thanksgiving, and the things that I'm thankful for you all caring about us, to want to be a part of our Primetime Alive group, for your well wishes in so many community fashions. Folks have reached out to us and said, we want you to know that we're thinking about you. And we share those with our staff, cards and letters. And somebody chalked the sidewalk the other day and messages of hope. People have bought staff meals. We had lunches provided last week by a local church. We had little bits of chocolate brought in from Chocolaterie Stown, funded by another local church. So we feel those. We got a small basket full of cards and letters from members of a congregation saying that they're holding our staff in their prayers. And these are also very, very meaningful. So thank you. And thank you for the small kindnesses that you've provided. Thank you for taking care of one another. And just know that we're still here. We miss you. And we can't wait to see you and your smiling faces again. And I hope you do have a blessed holiday season, that you get a chance to see or talk with your family members. And remember, better days are very much ahead. So thank you all so very much. We love your support, and we can't wait to see you again soon. Bye now.
All right. Thank you so much, Brian. All right. So now we're going to move on to the fun part of the program. Our presenter today is Sally Shaver-Dubois. Sally is from Ames and has been a wellness professional and educator for nearly 30 years. She is a professional speaker, teacher, and coach, helping preschoolers through senior citizens to stay on the path of wellness through her business, Do Life Well, and is a part-time physical education teacher at St. Cecilia's School in Ames. Her expertise in brain-based learning techniques have assisted others to more fully understand how to optimally balance learning activities with fun and creative ideas that engage and energize the brain. Sally also utilizes her clown character, Silly Sally, to encourage children to live a healthy, active lifestyle on her YouTube channel for school and library programs and community events, fairs, and festivals. Sally will keep you engaged and smiling this afternoon as she introduces you to her E.L.F. principles for stress management in her program titled, Don't Keep Your E.L.F. on the Shelf This Holiday Season. Please welcome Sally.
Thank you, Vicki. I appreciate you inviting me. And Brian, thank you so much. And as Vicki said, I am Sally Shaver-Dubois, and I'm so happy to be here today. And I am here to help you learn a little bit about the E.L.F. principles. Now, you might be familiar with the E.L.F. on a shelf concept. This is my little elf on a shelf. Her name is Joy. Now, I'm not talking about this elf today. As you know, if you're a grandparent or a parent in the past, you maybe were familiar with the Elf on the Shelf book and concept, that this little elf watches the children during the holiday season and hopes, and at night magically runs back to flies back rather, to the North Pole, and then reports to Santa all of the things that children have been doing if they were naughty or nice. Now, I will take Joy back with me to my school so that she can watch the children at school. But for today, I'm going to talk to you about the E.L.F. principles. And before we get to that, though, I wanted to maybe remind you or make you become familiar with the illness-wellness continuum. Now, you might have heard about this before, maybe you haven't, but if you are on the illness-wellness continuum, you're either going towards becoming well, or you're going the other direction, all right? So if you're clear over here on the illness-wellness continuum, we're going to just say this is where you are at fit, you're well. And you know who I think about when I think of somebody who is clear on the one end of the illness-wellness continuum is Jack LaLanne. Now, you probably remember Jack LaLanne from way back, maybe in the early 60s. He'd be on TV in the mornings doing his exercises with his wife and his German Shepherd. Well, he even all the way into his 90s was fit. He was swimming, and he ended up at the very end of his life, he was selling juicers and still advocating for wellness. So Jack LaLanne, way over on one end, and clear over on the other end is where we are near death. Right? So you've just about at the end of your life, or however that comes for you. But I hope that you're somewhere in the middle here and you're marching towards the wellness area. So one thing that it helps us or can hurt us is how we handle stress. Now, stress is something that we've all been experiencing during 2020. I've heard some people say that 2020 has kind of been a moving dumpster fire because we have had all kinds of things happen. One thing after another after another. And if it wasn't enough with COVID, if you lived around Iowa, you probably also had some effects from the derecho. So that brought even more stress. But what stress does to our body is it is not good for us in many different ways. So it elevates our blood pressure, our heart rate, our blood sugar. It increases those digestive issues and ulcers. So maybe you have an upset stomach. It often has us gaining weight. We kind of joke about the COVID-19 pounds that all of us have gained because we've been stress eating, right? And it causes many of us to lose sleep. And many of us might feel fatigued, and we might even have some depression going on. And one other thing that stress does is it decreases our immune system. And if anything we want to do right now is not have a decrease in our immune system, we want to boost our immune system during this time of COVID. So I ask you, is your hair on fire right now? Do you feel like the stress is just up to here and you can't hardly handle it? Well, that reminds me of a little story about my niece, Andrea. When she was just a little preschooler, one day my brother, who is quite the jokester, he often would come home and say, oh, it was a hair on fire day. And that was, knew it was a really stressful day for him that day. Well, one day when he came home and he said, it was a hair on fire day, little Andrea asked him, hey, Dad, did you stop, drop, and roll? So she really took that hair on fire literally. But I ask you now, is your hair on fire? Maybe you just need to stop and just take a moment and just take some deep breaths, right? And it's okay to not be okay right now. That's an okay thing for you to be feeling. We need to maybe just drop some of our expectations that we have for the holidays. And we might just need to roll with it and have a little bit of laughter. I wanted to show you an updated picture of Andrea and her husband, Andrew, who got married a year ago, right before COVID. So we were very fortunate we were able to celebrate with them out in Colorado. Now, are you stressed out? And here are some maybe the things that have been stressing you out in the last 9 months. Of course, COVID-19, but we've had a lot of political division. We've had protests. We've had lots of fear of contracting the virus. We're not able to gather for the holidays or even any other time with large groups of people. Maybe this has been a strain on your finances, or you've had medical concerns for yourself, your family, your friends, and maybe it's just isolation. You've been at home a lot. So what is the new normal? We don't know. That's another stress. What's going to happen in the future? Are the vaccines going to work? How fast will we get a vaccine? We don't know. One thing I wanted to say, though, is that it takes you 6 hours for that stress hormone, which is called cortisol, to actually decrease inside your body. So when we're stressed and we're running around and going, oh my goodness, and we're worried, cortisol shoots through your body, and that affects us for up to 6 hours, unless we do some kind of an intervention. So that brings me to my E.L.F. principles. So let's figure out some ways that you could combat stress this holiday season and beyond, even into 2021. All right, the first thing I recommend, the E stands for exercise. The second thing is laughter, and the F stands for find joy. So let's take a little look at each of these and how they help us combat stress and how you could manage your stress a little bit better if you try those E.L.F. principles. Exercise, we know it zaps stress and it improves our mood. It boosts problem solving and it helps us to become more alert. So it helps our brain. In fact, we know that someone who exercises on a regular basis can cut their risk of dementia in half. It helps to control our weight. It combats those chronic diseases like heart disease, stroke, and cancer. It boosts our energy and it improves our stamina. It helps increase our mood and it decreases depression. So it takes that cortisol level and it pushes it down while increasing those feel-good hormones. It helps us to sleep better. It enhances our flexibility and increases our strength. We all need to be working on that so we prevent falls as well. And in 1999, the research came out that says it grows new brain cells. And there's so many more things that exercise does. Now, you don't have to go and exercise in hours and hours and hours. Even just a quick little walk here and there, that's going to help you reduce stress as well as increase your immune system. So how can you add more movement to your day? As I said, you have to make it a priority. And I find that it works best if I get up and do it first thing in the morning, so other things don't come up. And taking little breaks here and there, maybe 30 minutes. Maybe you just stand up, turn around, stretch, and that will help you get a little bit of exercise. And can you get your significant other or somebody else to help you get motivated? And maybe it's just you can't get with them in a face-to-face. You call them on the phone while you're taking a walk, and you walk and talk with somebody. All right, the next principle is laughter. Now, Vicki told you that I am also Silly Sally the Clown, which I have been for about 20 years, I've been doing Silly Sally, but I've also, about 10 or 15 years ago, I don't even remember right now how long ago it's been, I'm also a certified laughter leader. And what I found out by becoming a certified laughter leader or laughter yoga leader is that our brains and bodies, they don't know the difference between us faking a laugh and actually laughing at things that are funny, that stimulated laughter. So here's some of the things that laughter can do to help you with stress management as well. It decreases that cortisol, increases oxytocin. Hey, that's what exercise does too. So laughter does some of the same things. It boosts our immune system. It decreases our blood pressure and our heart rate. It helps us to decrease pain. It increases alertness and oxygen to the brain. It provides us that social connection with others. It's contagious. You know, when you're in a situation where a whole bunch of people are laughing, which we aren't able to really do right now, but if you're down the hallway or you go to a comedy club and other people are laughing, you tend to laugh too because it's a social connection. And laughter helps us to express our joy. So if you can't find something funny to laugh at, you know, sometimes what I do, I just go on YouTube and I play some funny baby laughing videos. And when you see a baby giggling and laughing, you can't help but laugh. And if that doesn't work, you can always fake a laugh or a smile. All right. And here's some, let's figure out why we do laugh. All right. There's a surprise, which I talked about. That might be laughing at a joke or something you find funny, like the laughing baby. We might laugh because we're putting someone else down. Our late night comics are famous for that. And laughter is actually a release. It comes from the same deep part of us as does crying. So when you laugh and you laugh and you laugh and then you start to cry, you might actually feel a sense of release of all the stress. And that's a really good stress buster. Now, I work with kids 2 days a week, and I know that children laugh very easily. Do you know that preschoolers laugh on the average of 400 times a day, while us adults merely chuckle 15 times, unless you work with kids? You get plenty of chances to laugh. So what happens from the time we're little kids until we become adults? Have you thought about that? We play when we're little kids, and when I'm outside watching children at recess, they are free playing, and then what happens? Social conditioning, stress, life, work, all these things happen, and we kind of forget how to play. And I'm not talking about running out on the playground. I'm talking about just having a free spirit and being able to be playful. So, let me give you a little bit of stimulated laughter, I hope. Here's some funny holiday pictures that hopefully will bring a smile to your face. All right. Now, these kids, of course, aren't laughing, but they're talking about joy, but they look anything but joyful, don't they? And I'm sure some of you have had kids or grandkids. You're trying to take their picture, and this is what happens. At the time, it's very stressful, but we can look back on it now, and it's pretty funny. And what about this one with Santa Claus? Not one of those kids looks very happy to be near Santa, do they? And then for you pet lovers, can you see what it says there? I ate E.L.F on the shelf. And the German Shepherd says, I helped because he is creepy. And they have decapitated the E.L.F on the shelf. There's also some here's another one that's a animal one. I don't know if that's ever happened to you, where your animals have gotten into the Christmas goodies. And yes, that one time I was at a family gathering, and the cousin's dog jumped up on the table and ate the entire platter of butter. Well, at the time, it wasn't too funny, but we still laugh about that. And what about those funny signs? You know, there's always truth is funnier than fiction. Can you see this one at Walgreens? We have all your back-to-school supplies. And then on the bottom, it says 12-pack of Miller, $7.99. And another one at the animal hospital. It's all fun and games until someone ends up in a cone. All right, I'm going to ask you now if you are Mrs. Snagglepuss or Mrs. Anita Chuckle. And I have a couple of different characters that maybe you'll recognize. Hopefully yourself in one of them, and hopefully maybe somebody else in the other one. I hope you're not Mrs. Snagglepuss, but let me just show you what these two characters are like. Well, hello there, primetime alive people. It is the holiday season. Boy, I hate the holiday season. All the singing and all of the stuff we have to do, the shopping. And then, you have to prepare all these cookies and all this stuff. And gee, can we just get over the holidays already? Now, that would be Mrs. Snagglepuss and her take on the holidays. Let's see what Mrs. Anita Chuckle might have to say. Well, howdy! How are you today? I am Mrs. Anita Chuckle, and I'm so glad that you're here today. I wish I could just reach out and shake your hands and greet you in person, but it's okay because we have this technology that we can get to you all the way from here to you, and it's still going to be okay, right? And I'm so happy that you can be here. You know, sometimes I'm around those people like Mrs. Anita or Mrs. Snagglepuss, and you're around them and they complain and they complain and they complain. But you know what I do sometimes? I go into the bathroom and I go to the mirror and I just go like this. And I take a deep breath and I might go, and I feel a whole lot better. That's because, remember, you can fake a laugh or a smile, and your body and your brain are still going to get those positive endorphins going up there, and you're going to feel a whole lot better. And I try to stay away from those Debbie Downer, negative Nancy, Mrs. Snagglepuss's types. I don't want them dumping all their negative garbage in my front yard. So I try to look at the positive things for what I can see out there and show a little kindness. Can you show some kindness? Try a random act of kindness. You know, when you do that, you're going to feel a whole lot better. So I hope that you can be a little bit more like Mrs. Anita Chuckle this year. I know it's hard. We've all gone through lots of different things, and you might not be feeling like chuckling very much right now. But I would encourage you to just try to get outside yourself and maybe do something kind for someone else, because it will help you feel a whole lot better. All right. And the F stands for find joy. And that's part of doing those random acts of kindness. My friend here, Deb, whom I haven't seen in a long time now because I haven't been able to go and do any kind of in-person balloon twisting. But Deb is in a wheelchair. She, I think, has cerebral palsy and really is nonverbal. She works down at the Hy-Vee, at the West Lakes Hy-Vee in West Des Moines. And I got to know Deb when I used to twist balloons down there. And she always has a joyful smile. But you know what Deb does? She greets people. She has a wheelchair, and when she pushes a button, it has a little speaker that comes out, and it speaks through the computer. And she knows where every single thing is in that store. If I ask Deb, well, where is the graham crackers? She pushes the button, it says, follow me, and she turns that wheelchair around, and boom, she goes down the aisle, and you have to try to keep up with her. And she loves, loves, loves all of the balloon creations that I always have created for her. So I hope you can find joy, and joy is different than happiness. Now, happiness is based on our circumstances, whereas joy is based on we're joyful regardless of our circumstances. So how could you find some joy right now during COVID? I just wanted to point out to you our World Happiness Report, and this just came out again in 2020. The World Happiness Report comes out every year, and it ranks the countries, and it shows where every country is as far as their happiness, all right? United States has been hovering around 17, 18, 19 for quite a few years now. Finland, and you notice the Scandinavian countries, Denmark, they're up there towards the top. And I find that very interesting, considering that here in the United States, we have so much, yet we have other countries that are always above us in the World Happiness Report. Now, a way you can find joy is to have that attitude of gratitude, to be thankful for the things that we have and not dwell on those things that are out there and that are maybe causing us strife, all right? Now, here's some ways that you can be purposeful in your gratitude. One is to focus on the positive things. Us humans, we tend to focus on negativity. So see if you can focus on the positive things. I try to do that every day. I try to do a thankful time in the morning, a reflection, my prayer time, when I go out to exercise and I reflect on the things for which I'm thankful. It really makes a difference in my life, I think. I think also hanging out with positive people. And as I said earlier, don't let those negative people dump their garbage trucks in your yards. And demonstrate gratitude to others. It's a mindset. Can you be in the present? Us humans, we tend to always start looking either for the past or we look to the future, and it's hard for us to just stay right now in the present. All right, so here's what I'd like for you to do. Take a nice deep breath in and exhale. Take a nice deep breath in and exhale. I'd like you to think about one thing for which you are thankful today. And silence. We don't get enough silence, do we? We need that reflection time. So I encourage you to do that every day. Maybe you can think of 10 things. You could write them down in a gratitude journal. That would be really helpful for you. And as I said before, can you demonstrate kindness in maybe a random act of kindness and give back to others? There are still ways you can do that. I heard Brian talking about how many people have done that here for the staff at Mary Greeley, bringing food or cards, ways that you could be gracious to our staff or other frontline workers, all right? What are things that you could do to help others during this time? One of my favorite people in all the world was Fred Rogers. And he was, if we think about it, one of the most kind people in the world. But did you know that he spent 2 hours every day in the mornings with his reflection and prayer time? And then he spent another hour swimming, or half an hour at least. So he spent a lot of time in quiet and reflection time. Kindness is actually good for your health. Did you know that? It helps to raise our serotonin and dopamine levels, those positive endorphins. It increases our life satisfaction, and it really does help us feel happier and more joyful. It can also decrease pain. It could slow the aging process. It helps us reduce inflammation, and it stimulates that vagus nerve. It's good for our heart. It increases oxytocin, and it helps to protect the heart by lowering our blood pressure. And of course, it improves our relationships and connections, which we know are really, really helpful in our health. And it's contagious. If you start a kindness boomerang, meaning you start something and then hopefully someone else will continue, like you pay for somebody's food in the drive-up, and then maybe the next person will pay for the next person and the next person, and it can keep going on and on and on. But somebody has to start it. So maybe you could be the one who starts that random act of kindness today. And you just never know how that will affect somebody else and bring a little joy in their life. You could send somebody flowers anonymously. That would certainly help brighten somebody's day. So I thank you for being here today. I think I'm going to end my time with a couple of Christmas carols because, and holiday carols. I'm going to put on my little elf hat, and we're going to do a couple of songs that I know you're familiar with. And I'm going to step over here so I can start the music. And we're going to start with Jingle Bells. Are you ready? Jingle bells, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to ride in a one-horse open sleigh. Hey, jingle bells, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to ride in a one-horse open sleigh. Come on, sing now. Dashing through the snow in a one-horse open sleigh. O'er the fields we go, laughing all the way. Ha, ha, ho! Our bells ring, making spirits bright. What fun it is to ride and sing a sleighing song tonight. Oh, jingle bells, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to ride in a one-horse open sleigh. Hey, jingle bells, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to ride in a one-horse open sleigh. Jingle bells, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to ride in a one-horse open sleigh. Hey, jingle bells, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to ride in a one-horse open sleigh. Very good. I hope you were singing with me. Did you know singing also is a great way to stimulate your brain as well as bring those positive endorphins to you again? So it's okay. You can sing behind the computer, and don't worry about what other people think. It's okay. You can sing. All right, we have one more song, and I know that everybody here wishes you a very Merry Christmas and holiday season. We wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. We don't know that Santa's coming. We know that Santa's coming. We know that Santa's coming and soon will be here. Good tidings to you and your kin. Good tidings for Christmas and a Happy New Year. Now bring us some figgy pudding. Now bring us some figgy pudding. Now bring us some figgy pudding. I don't think I like that. All right. Good tidings to you and your kin. Good tidings for Christmas and a Happy New Year. We won't go until we get some. We won't go until we get some. We won't go until we get some. So bring it out here. We wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. All right. I do hope that you have a wonderful holiday season. I thank you to Vicki for having me come today. And remember, everybody, please don't keep your elf on a shelf. Make sure you get that elf off and you exercise, you laugh, and you find some joy this holiday season. Thank you, Vicki.
Oh my goodness. Thank you, Sally. That was so much fun and informative, but you made it a lot of fun, and you would have been a lot of fun to have in person, but I hope out there, everyone, you guys got into the spirit of what Sally was talking about, and you take some of this to heart, and it was a wonderful message. So thank you for sharing your time with us today. And one last time, thank you to all of our Primetime Alive members for your ongoing support of the program and of Mary Greeley Medical Center. I wish you all happy holidays and a healthy and happy 2021. Thank you for joining us.